And we welcome you into the Activity Center on the campus of Lewis Clark State College in Lewiston, Idaho. It's the Frontier Conference Women's Basketball Championship game between the Skylights of Montana State University Northern and the Warriors of Lewis Clark State College. Our title game brought to you by Pepsi of Lewiston. Mike Tatko along with Mike Benke, and the Warriors own 3 victories over the Skylights so far. Mike, keys to the game. What will it take for the Skylights to break through and get the win tonight in the title game?
LCSC is a high-scoring team. MSU-Northern is going to want to control the tempo. They're going to want to control the pace, work the shot clock, and get good shots. On the other end, LCSC, they're going to want to continue to shoot the ball like they've shot the ball the rest of the season coming up to this game. They shoot a very high percentage, and they're going to want to try to create some turnovers themselves and get MSU-Northern uncomfortable and kind of out of their rhythm.
Both teams probably are going to be in the national tournament, but this is for all the marbles. It's for the Frontier Conference Championship. We have the starting lineups, Lewis Clark State and Montana State Northern. It comes up next.
Wait, you vape? You're usually such a control freak.
I'm addicted.
I used to smoke and vape. The only thing in control is the nicotine. And you have asthma.
Yeah, but mine's just mild.
It doesn't matter. It can still trigger an attack.
I need to quit.
Quitting is the best way to keep your asthma under control. Health in the 406, my friend. It's good. It's getting better.
Excited about Bobcat season? Trust us, so are we. Sometimes game day just can't get here soon enough. You could show up 12 hours before kickoff to show your colors, or you could get the new Bobcat banking card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at bobcatbanking.com.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Julia Blinken with our national anthem tonight. Mike Tatko, Mike Benke welcoming you back inside the Activity Center on the campus of Lewis Clark State College in Lewiston, Idaho for tonight's Frontier Conference Championship game. Women's basketball action brought to you by Pepsi of Lewiston, Idaho. Mike, we talked about the teams having already played 3 times this year. Lewis Clark State owns all 3 victories, but the games have become increasingly closer as the Warriors won the first one by 25, then by 9, the final game just by 7. So the Skylights have made it close, especially the last couple times.
Yeah, and with games in single digits, it's really just coming down to who's making plays in the fourth quarter, who's making plays at the end of the game that kind of put themselves in good position to win.
The starting lineups being introduced right now, and Natalie Foppel is, of course, the 5-time conference player of the week for the Skylights. She leads their team, and as again we look at how they got here in the quarterfinals, both teams, of course, drew byes because of the number 1 and number 2 seeds, and Northern with a 3-pointer by J.C. Thompson with 14 seconds left to beat Montana Western 44-42. Lewis Clark State routs Montana Tech 85-46. And so they didn't really have to do the hard thing, Mike, because they both drew byes. They both only had to have won 1 game to get here.
Right, and so fatigue really shouldn't be a factor. I think we'll get both teams' best tonight.
And also for Montana State Northern, they have had 3 players play all 40 minutes of that game the other night against Western in that win by a score of 44-42. And so certainly they will not rely too much on their bench. But again, if you can play 40 minutes, you can do what you got to do. You look at Chris Mowat there, the coach for the club from Montana State Northern in his 12th year. Brian Orr coaches Lewis Clark State. And our lineups tonight, first for the visitors, of course, we mentioned, or the home team rather, the Warriors, Brittany Tackett, Caitlin Orlandi, Brooke L'Italian, Megan Reisinger, and Lauren Johnson. It's Johnson who's been getting the start in place of Natani Spencer, who went down with a knee injury a couple of weekends ago. There's the lineup for the Skylights, and again, J.C. Thompson was the one who made the winning shot, and there's Foppel, the five-time defending, or the five-time player of the week in the Frontier Conference, and the Lights from left to right, and they're maroon. They have the opening possession against Lewis Clark State. Again, trying to break through. Both teams pretty much assured of going to Billings to the tournament. But the seeding is important, and there's an early start for the Lights. The three-pointer by Thompson. So her last two shots have been three-pointers. One to win the game last weekend, Mike, and one here to open it up, and it's 3-0 Northern right off the bat.
The Warriors are going to have to do a little bit better job of covering the shooter in their zone, running out and closing out.
Warriors in the inbounds now as in the white uniforms as it's L'Italian, and there is Orlandi cutting as Kaylin is the leading scorer. She had 30 the other night, and they work inside now, and the turnaround on the left hand, it's up. And good by Tackett. And it's 3-2.
Tackett one-on-one there, no help on the weak side.
Well, she had a height advantage inside there, and with the mismatch, and was able to get it to go. And the Skylights with their second offensive possession now. And a lob really to nobody, but tipping it out, and they drive into the key and putting it up. Trying to draw contact was Foppel, wouldn't get it to go, and the Warriors with the rebound, and here comes Orlandi. Deep shot, right corner on the way, in and out that time, but right there for the rebound, and the putback missed as well. That was Reisinger, but the Warriors able to get it back, and they have a new shot clock, and now a foul inside. So a couple of good looks by Lewis Clark State, and the Skylight foul is going to be on Richards, first team, and the Warriors will have it underneath. And underneath, and an easy look that time, but way too hard by L'Italian. A smile on her face as I think she didn't realize, Mike, how open she was.
Right, she rushed it, and she didn't have to right there.
Back to the Lights, they lead 3-2. We've played a minute and a half and driving. There's Foppel, and scoring, and the basket counts. So the basket by Natalie Foppel, 5-2 Skylights.
Foppel's a nice combination of size and ball handling, so Warriors got their work cut out for them.
They do, because she can go to the basket, but she can also pull up and make the three, and she has an opportunity for the old-fashioned three-point play. It's up and good, and the Lights have an early 6-2 lead here in the first period, and back come Lewis Clark State. Again, we told you Orlandi had 30 against Montana Tech. Another lob inside, and again, the easy laying up and good by Tackett. So again, as you said it earlier, Mike, a mismatch, and they really used that mismatch again.
Yeah, you know, if the Skylights are going to guard Tackett, they're going to need more than one body on her. They're going to need to be ready to help.
So a 2-point Montana State Northern lead is way out front is Ozan, and there's Thompson. She's going to pull up from the deep left corner. That one wouldn't go. And only, again, one shot for the Skylights. Another just one possession opportunity. And you can see the Warriors want to run. They want to get up and down the court, and the Skylights want to take some time. But this time they run up the court with Foppel trying to draw the contact there. Thompson passed up the three this time, but Ozan won't, and that won't go. It's tipped, it's loose, and here comes Lewis Clark State again. Down went Tackett, but the Warriors still going to run, and it's Orlandi going to go to the basket. Now she kicks it out, and it's Reisinger for three. That won't go. A lot of misses on the threes, Mike, with some pretty good looks for both teams early on.
Yeah, they're working out some early game jitters, it looks like, but both teams are getting some open looks.
6-4 remains the Skylight lead as we're just 3 minutes in, and again, Coach Chris Mowat just to our left telling his team they have plenty of time to work the clock. The Warriors in a trapping defense now, and here's Krajcek with it. Working it down, there's Thompson. Thompson going to drive and go to the basket, and got her own rebound, and she'll kick it out, and they'll set it up again. That's what they want to do, driving, and that one wouldn't go. That was by Krajcek, and whose ball is it going to be? It's going to be Skylight's ball, and the first substitute into the game, and that's for Lewis Clark State.
It's evident early that the Skylights are really trying to attack the middle of that Warriors zone, making them make a reaction on who's going to guard who once they get in there.
It's Haley Turner into the basketball game, a sophomore from Richland, Washington. And Montana State Northern starts again, 6.5 now to go, and the Skylights have never trailed, 6-4. And there's Thompson. They work it inside to Faupel, to the basket, jumps it up, good.
Right in the middle of that zone again, Mike.
5 for Natalie. And the Skylights have an 8-4 lead. Again, they have played the Warriors tough twice. Once it got away, but really even in that game, Mike, Lewis Clark State, it was a close game before the Warriors pulled away.
Yeah,
to the basket and a foul, and the basket counts.
Yeah, in the first meeting, it was only a 5-point game going into the fourth quarter, so it was a lot closer than the score ended up being.
L'Italian got the field goal, and the foul on Thompson, her first, the second team foul, and Brooke L'Italian will have an opportunity to complete a 3-point play and try to make this a 1-point game, and she does. 8-7, and the Warriors with some token pressure back there. It's L'Italian, but Montana State Northern able to get it across, and it'll be Krajcek against L'Italian. To the corner she goes, and a cross-court look to Thompson. Passed up the three that time as they continue to be patient. Shot clock at 8. And a three by Ozon. That's not good, and it lands in the hands of Richards, who kicks it back outside. New clock.
Attack, now let's go.
Early on, they did not have any offensive rebounds. They since have 2 in a row, but now a steal by Lewis Clark State. Warriors can take their first lead of the game if they can score here, and Orlandi will do so.
Warriors are looking to push at every opportunity right now, trying to pick up the tempo of this game.
First lead change of our basketball game, 9-8 Lewis Clark State, 5:15 in the first period.
Warriors switching it up and going with a man-to-man defense this possession.
Going to be a blocking foul there on Johnson. Coach Orr of the Warriors not happy with that. He thought that perhaps the ball carrier, the ball handler, created the contact. And so the Skylights bring it in. Again, it's another head fake and a move to the basket. It's off, and same shot clock though, Mike, because they didn't hit the rim with that.
Yep.
But the three is good, and that is Krajcek. So 2 3-point goals in the basketball game for the Lights, and they have the lead back again. 11-9, 4:45 to go. Orlandi driving, double teamed, and gonna muscle it up, and it's blocked from behind, and now Montana State Northern with the lead and the basketball. Faupel thought about the three, and instead they set it up with Krajcek.
Skylights looking to put a little pressure on, see if the Warriors will gather their defense and then work the shot clock.
Faupel for 3, that's good. She has 8 early in the game, and it's a 5-point lead for the Lights. Biggest lead of the basketball game. The homestanding Warriors in a bit of a hole, and Orlandi to answer. It's good from way downtown. And it's 14-12 at the 4-minute mark. Now they'll walk it up the court, and Krajcek will start things. Faupel, that one would not go, off the back iron, and here come the Warriors. Orlandi up the right side.
Pretty good shot for a lapel right there. I think they'll take that one every time.
Yeah, just went off back iron. It was on line just a little bit too hard. Poked away. Nice defense in there by Ozon. Poked it away from Turner, and Skylights have it back with 3:15 to go in the quarter.
Northern happy to work the shot clock, happy to run their sets. And then they're looking to attack the middle.
Keep in mind, they won the game Friday night 44-42, so not a lot of points there. Trying to draw contact, and a held ball, as it was Thompson trying to do it.
MSU Northern really aggressive on the offensive boards right now, trying to limit the transition there.
Skylights with the early 2-point lead. We're back to Lewiston after this.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, We believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
When it's your time, make it Quay time. Have a quick lunch or relax and enjoy conversation over breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We have been serving the Valley since 1989, right here on the river. While you're here, visit Dave's Valley Golf and practice your swing, or browse the pro shop. The Quay, inside the Quality Inn, right on the river, Clarkston.
Natalie Foppel with 27 points against the Warriors in one of the matchups. She had 12 in another and 14 in another, and already 8 points and 3 rebounds in this, Mike. She's not disappointing.
No, and right now the Warriors don't have a really good answer for her. She's really able to get any shot she wants right now. She's gotten some open threes and open looks inside the lane as well.
2-point lead for the Warriors. They have the basketball. 2:50 to go in the first period of the championship game of the Frontier Conference Women's Basketball Tournament. And it rolled off. That was Tackett looking for the tie, and it would not go down, and the Skylights get it back.
They're trying to front Tackett a little bit, and Warriors are just going right over the top.
There's Natalie again, and count it. Natalie Foppel, a senior, 5'10", from Butte, Montana, played at Butte High School, and she has 10 points. And the Warriors miss another easy one at the other end, and Montana State Northern with an opportunity to get their biggest lead. Their biggest lead so far is 5. They have a chance to get it to 6 or 7 with a 3-point goal.
Yeah, for those of you not real familiar with MSU Northern, it doesn't take long to see why Lapel is their all-time leading scorer. She can really get after it.
She just missed that one too off the back iron. That would have been worth 3, and Lewis Clark State with the basketballs. We are under 2 minutes now in the first quarter. The left-handed shot up and good. It's a 2-pointer by Lauren Johnson, who gets the start tonight. Johnson, a junior from Kashmir, Washington, and played at Wenatchee Valley Community College. And she knocked that one down, and it's a 2-point Skylight lead. Nice dish there, and laying it up and in is Richards. Richards, a tall player in there, has a height advantage, and she got free, and the Skylights lead by 4.
Warriors, again, allowing a little too much penetration in order for those guys to kind of suck the defense in and then kick it.
And the man defense by the Skylights as we approach the 1-minute mark. And from the top of the key, it's not good that time by Jocelyn Blackman, who's into the basketball game. And now we're under a minute and a 4-point Northern lead. And a steal by Lewis Clark State's Brooke L'Italian, and she'll lay it up and miss it. And back the other way. Krajcek, I think she thought that they were going to attempt to block the shot, Mike, and they just let her go.
Yep, she had another open look. Looks like little nerves in playing in factor for Brooke right now.
40 seconds and counting. 20-second difference between shot clock and game clock, and a traveling violation. And now the Skylights will have it with a 1.7-second differential. The Warriors will have it, rather, with a 1.7-second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. Reisinger back for Lewis Clark State. And for the Skylights, it's Katie Ferderer getting her first action. And let's see what Lewis Clark State does down 4 if they play for the final shot. Brian Orr up and directing traffic. And it looks like Kaylin Orlandi will run the clock down, Mike, and we'll see what they do here in the final 15 seconds of the first quarter.
Orlandi, the senior point guard, they're going to have a lot of faith in her with the clock running down and make a good decision.
It's down to 7. She's going to take it to the basket and missed it. Boy, they've missed several easy ones. 2 seconds left, and the Skylights will have a half-court shot at the buzzer, and that's the end of the first quarter. And it is 18-14 in favor of Montana State Northern over Lewis Clark State in the championship game.
In every corner of America, there are a few people living with unique gifts. Born with gifts we all wish we had. But just because you weren't born lucky doesn't mean you can't be lucky. With the Montana Lottery's Lucky for Life, you could win $1,000 a day for life, or $25,000 a year for life. Lucky for life. Now that's luck that lasts a lifetime.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Since my knee surgery, I'm back to everyday life, running, hiking, riding my horses, enjoying life again.
I've been able to go back to doing the things I love to do, the hiking, the fishing. Splitting wood was a good way to get rid of stress, and now I'm able to do that without pain.
Dr. Bem is very professional and very thorough.
And we've both come to trust him very much.
Dr. Gregory M. Bem and Steele Memorial Medical Center. Call today.
The game of the week brought to you by ProBuild, Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW, First Interstate Bank, Ravalli Orthopedic and Sport Medicine, Southway Pizzeria, the Quality Inn in Clarkston, and Conlon's Furniture. Mike Tatko, Mike Benke back with you from Lewis Clark State College in Lewiston, Idaho. Second period action. Montana State Northern leading 18-14. And they have the basketball. Natalie Faupel with 10 early points.
Skylights very composed in that first quarter. They're not letting this road game affect them at all.
A really good possession there, too, till the very end. They took about 27 seconds off the shot clock, but then unable to complete it. But you're right, Mike. They have not been daunted by a pretty good crowd here in Lewiston, and also the 30-1 Lewis Clark State Warriors. That's their record. The Skylights themselves come in at 23-7. Reisinger. That one's short and out of bounds, and Montana State Northern with a good possession, leading 18-14.
After one quarter, one thing the Warriors are going to want to do is try to find a body to put somebody on the glass. MSU Northern with 5 offensive rebounds in that first quarter.
Thompson opened the game with a three-pointer, and then nothing since, but she's underneath now. She got the foul on the basket for the Skylights, and they lead 20-14. J.C. Thompson with a tremendous head fake in the basket, and the Skylights have their biggest lead.
It's a great way to beat an aggressive defense is to backdoor, and they've been using backdoors and pump fakes so far and trying to take advantage of the Warriors being aggressive.
That free throw did not go, and the Warriors, the foul was on Blackman, her first. And now Lewis Clark State finds itself down 6. And Orlandi nearly took it away, but the lay-in that time by Tackett. She has 6, and it's the same thing at the other end, too. Some aggressive defense by the Skylights gave Lewis Clark State a lay-in.
Right, and there's nobody on the weak side to help, and they're going to need to be aware that Tackett, she's a really good finisher around the basket. She shoots almost 70% for the season.
Inside to Richards, turnaround jumper. She got fouled. So Sierra Richards going to go to the free throw line. Second foul on Lewis Clark State. And that one is going to be on Jansen Edmondson, who is into the basketball game. And so 2 free throws forthcoming for Sierra Richards.
Skylights having success getting the ball inside the lane right now.
Turner and L'Italian return for Brian Orr, who got his 400th win in the basketball game Friday night against Montana Tech. And Richards missed the second one, but another offensive rebound for Northern Montana. And it's 21-16. Faupel thought about the 3 and off to Thompson. Good ball control, shot clock down to 10. And she will step back and shoot a 3. And off the iron, and this time Lewis Clark State with the rebound. 21-16, Montana State Northern. Deep 3, right side. That's not good. It's loose, and good block out by Richards, and coming up with the basketball is Krejcik. Thompson lost it, chases it down into the corner, and they retain possession to the Skylights. From Havre, Montana.
Warriors did a good job in their transition defense there.
Thompson thought about it. Again, they work the shot clock. It's down to 7. Krejcik going to have to fire. rolled off no good, and the rebound this time to Lewis Clark State's Tackett.
Once again, Northern real comfortable with running that shot clock down into the single digits.
It was a 18-14 score after one. It's 21-16 now. Setting her feet and shooting a three and knocking it down is L'Italian. And 21-19 is our score in favor of MSU Northern. Less than 7 minutes to go here in this first half. Warriors have gone away from the zone now, Mike, to the man-to-man.
Yeah, the Skylights were kind of having their way in penetrating that zone, so I like the change-up by Coach Orr.
But another offensive rebound and another foul on Lewis Clark State. And that one's going to be on Tackett.
Skylights are in attack mode. They're going to penetrate until they stop them, then kick it out for a three, and if they don't stop them, they're getting their shots in the lane.
Well, coming up on the First Interstate Bank halftime report, we'll get a chance to visit with Lewis Clark State College President Tony Fernandez and the Director of Athletics at Lewis Clark State, Gary Piccone. That's all coming up on the First Interstate Bank halftime report.
No, my bad. Baseline. Shoot low. Baseline. Baseline. Come on, Kate, out the way.
You can hear Chris Mowat. He's just directly to our left as we sit courtside in Lewiston.
A lot of times on out-of-bounds plays, it's easier to clog the middle when they go zone, and that's what the Warriors did right there.
That time, Thompson lost it off her knee out of bounds on the baseline. 6:08 to go, and again, it's a one-possession game. Lewis Clark State with an opportunity to even this up. And that one went off of Lewis Clark State out of bounds. So back-to-back turnovers. That was Lauren Johnson who had to go off her shoulder out of bounds.
Lauren just a little bit in a hurry there. Not much pressure on her there. Just took her eye off the ball.
Almost taken away that time by L'Italian, but instead Thompson to the basket, laid it up, wouldn't go, but all alone underneath, and the basket and the foul, and that is Ozon for two for the Skylights, and the Lewis Clark State foul is going to be on Blackman, her second, and it's 23-19 Skylights.
Once the shot goes up, the Skylights aren't running back for defense. They're going after those boards hard.
A lot of offensive rebounds tonight, and a 5-point lead as the Skylights get the three-point play from Ozon. 24-19. Orlandi double-teamed underneath, tries to find her teammate, and she does. And that is Haley Turner for her first two tonight. And it's 24-21. Vaupel has been quiet in this quarter, and just as we say that, she laid it up, missed it, and the rebound comes down to Lewis Clark State. Her shot was challenged that time, was Natalie's, and it didn't go, and now Orlandi for the tie. That's no good, and Vaupel has the rebound. Midway through this quarter, Montana State Northern has led almost the entire way.
MSU Northern with a lot of experience out on the floor. They don't look like the moment's too big for them at all.
Another offensive rebound, another reset of the shot clock. They're just outworking the Warriors right now, Mike.
Yep, they're all over the glass. 50-50 balls they're getting to.
Thompson driving on Orlandi to the basket, tried to draw the foul, and she did. So Orlandi's first. And it'll be J.C. Thompson for a couple of free throws coming up. Skylights by 3.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too. Out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
Well, our Pepsi score tonight from Lewiston, Montana State Northern 24, Lewis Clark State 21. 4.5 to go before half, and I tell you, if you're Chris Mowat, you have to be very happy of what's transpired, at least so far.
Yeah, his team is executing well so far. It looks like they've come out with a really good plan. This isn't Coach's first rodeo out here, and they have a really good plan on how to attack the Warriors and how to put a lot of pressure on them defense.
At the other end, Brian Orr is having a visit with the officials as you're watching the action on SWX.
MSU-Northern in their aggressiveness, when they create contact like that, they're forcing the officials to make a call, and they're getting to the free throw line.
So Thompson for 2 shots. And she gets the second one to make it 25-21. Offensive rebound's a big, big part of this game, especially on Montana State Northern side. And we saw that quick look of Brian Orr visiting with one of the officials, and I think he was making a point that the fouls were 5-0 at that point, and Montana State Northern now called for one, as that's on Ozan. That's the first foul on the Lights in the quarter, and on the inbounds, the shot goes up. It's not good, but an offensive rebound for Lewis Clark State. So both teams actually doing well on the offensive boards.
Long shot and long rebound. Brooke did a good job to track that one down.
Italian around the screen, but good switching by the Skylights on defense. And Orlandi, another 3. That one wouldn't go, and underneath it's loose, and it's going to be a held ball, and the possession arrow will stay with Lewis Clark State.
Warriors doing a good job of trying to match the Skylights' intensity right now. MSU Northern come out really aggressive, and the Warriors are trying to step up their aggressiveness as well.
Sierra Richards gave Coach Mowat some good minutes in the first quarter. She's back. And getting a break is Ozan, and a foul on the shot. And that's going to be on J.C. Thompson, and that is her second. And so shooting will be Turner.
So far, the Warriors haven't been shooting a great percentage from the three-point line, so what do? You attack the basket, and you try to go inside.
And they do it with Turner, the 6'1" sophomore from Richland, Washington. And the second free throw is good. And it's 25-23. Thompson will have to sit down with those 2 fouls, potentially for the rest of the half. They don't want her to get another foul before the break. Let's see if Coach Mowat goes the rest of the half without JC, who has 6 points in the basketball game.
MSU Northern with some very capable ball handlers, so I don't think there's any direct need to keep her on the floor right now.
Faupel got free, went to the basket, put it up a little bit too hard, and Lewis Clark State with an opportunity. Great pass down there, and the basket by Blackman.
Blackman with a great job just beating her defender down the floor right there.
And Lewis Clark State has forged a tie here with 3:15 to go. 25 apiece. Faupel almost lost it, but regained it in front of the Warrior bench. Drives again with the left hand. That won't go. It's a battle. She got it back. Blocked underneath that time by Reisinger, who had her headband adjusted, but Megan still got the block, and Lewis Clark State has the basketball. Orlandi, Lewis Clark State looking for its first lead in quite some time. Can they get it? Yes, it's Blackman.
Warriors starting to establish a little more presence on the inside these last couple possessions.
And it's going to be an official's timeout as the ball skipped onto the court. Coach Orr thought it was a coach's timeout. It's just an official's timeout. And they're going to allow both parties to substitute, and both teams do, and tack it back for Lewis Clark State. And Ozan back for the Lights. Lewis Clark State College with a rare lead in this half, 27-25. Faupel drawing contact, no whistle, but a basket.
Warriors just need to do a little better job of knowing where she is at all times. Faupel, a really nice player.
She has 12 of the 27, so just a little bit less than half of the Skylights' points. And off the foot of Lauren Johnson and out of bounds, and I think she had a step on the defender for Montana State Northern, but it went off her foot out of bounds, and the Skylights with the turnover with 2:10 to go in a tie game.
Good close defense, though. There's not a lot of space.
Law pass in, and I think we're going to have a Lewis Clark State foul, and if so, that'll be the Skylights shooting. It is. It's on Johnson. It's her second. And
McCormick, the freshman guard there, did a really nice job of hitting the boards.
Shiloh from Ashland, Montana, as you said, Mike, a freshman, 5'9", and she knocks that one down. So getting some good minutes from McCormick with Thompson on the bench with those 2 fouls, and she got the offensive rebound, drew the foul, made the first free throw, and she made them both. Skylights
have nice size, and their guards are doing a good job of attacking the boards along with their posts.
2 minutes until the half, 29-27, and Orlandi rolls it home, and we're tied again. 29-29. Faupel lays it up and in. She just got a step on the defender. She is so fast on that first step, Mike. And once she gets past you, you're not going to block it. You're going to foul her, so you might as well just let her go, and that's what they did that time. Natalie Faupel, 5-time Frontier Conference Player of the Week, and we're seeing tonight exactly why.
She's too to give it a player to try to have somebody guard her one-on-one, so the players on the weak side got to be ready to help.
Shot clock at 10 for Lewis Clark State. Reisinger still with the basketball, and she laid it up and in. Nice move by Megan Reisinger, her first 2 of the game, and we're tied again with 1 minute to go in the half.
Ozon did a nice job of defending for most of that possession, just let Reisinger get by her at the end.
Nine on the shot clock for the Skylights. Faupel to the basket, and a foul. With 3 on the shot clock, Faupel draws the foul. And that's on Tackett. That's her second. Couple of Warriors, 3 Warriors with 2 by my count, Mike, and Thompson with 2.
You know, I like the contest there, right there for Tackett, though. That's what the Warriors are. They want to kind of put a body on Faupel and not make it easy for her.
First free throw rolled off by Faupel. 36.5 seconds to go before the half. And the Skylights have the lead again.
You can tell the Skylights are really used to working that shot clock. They look really comfortable as that clock ticks down, 5, 4, 3. Very composed, and they know what they're doing out there.
Orlandi trying to give Lewis Clark State the lead again. Nice crossover move. It swapped away, but it went off of Montana State Northern. It was a nice move there to swat that ball.
Good help defense.
Out of her hands, but it remains with Lewis Clark State with 19 on the game clock, 13 on the shot clock. 9 now. And Orlandi with 4 on the shot clock. Jumps it up. Got it. Orlandi. Warriors have the lead. Skylights have 3 seconds. Faupel going to have to throw it the length of the court. And it's halftime. 33-32 Lewis Clark State. One of these teams halfway to a championship.
In the 1950s, people thought cigarettes were harmless. Today, it's e-cigarettes. Vaping is highly addictive. Plus, there are heavy metals, tin and aluminum, lead, formaldehyde, acetone, carcinogens, and toxic chemicals in the vapor. E-cigarettes are not regulated. Corporate tobacco hasn't changed their game, just their technology. If you want to quit, call the Quit line for free help and FDA-approved medications.
Ford Focus on Child Hunger is an effort here in the region to make sure that our kids are getting enough to eat by providing more food to families in need. Since 2014, our Ford Peanut Butter Drive has collected over 60,000 pounds of peanut butter. And over the last 3 years, we provided over 2 million meals and snacks in the Northwest. When kids have the nutritious food they need, they really can just be kids. The partnership between Ford Fund, local food banks, and the Boys and Girls Club is absolutely amazing. That's really what it means to go further.
When it's your time, make it Quay time. Have a quick lunch or relax and enjoy conversation over breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We have been serving the Valley since 1989, right here on the river. While you're here, visit Dave's Valley Golf and practice your swing, or browse the pro shop. The Quay, inside the Quality Inn, right on the river, Clarkston.
Well, welcome back to the Activity Center in Lewiston, Idaho. 33-32 is our score. A great first half, and my honor to be joined by the president of Lewis Clark State College, Dr. Tony Fernandez. What a half. Montana State did not appear phased at all by the long road trip. They've really done well, and the Warriors pulled up ahead by 1.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, it's getting a little bit much for an old man like me. I don't know if I can take this much longer.
Well, it's been a great year for Coach Brian Orr. 30 wins this year, of course, a school record. He picked up his 400th win in a career in the semifinal the other night against Montana Tech. You have to be very pleased with what Coach Orr has done with this program.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's a fine coach, a coach that really gets the best out of the women that are part of the team, and he recruits very well. And what an exciting team it is.
Great arena tonight, great crowd tonight. The Warrior Gym across the way that no longer stands, stood until 2004. This facility has been here since then, and again, looking around, it's a nice crowd. It's a good atmosphere here inside tonight.
Well, absolutely. The old gym had its charms, but it was just too small, and we outgrew it. And this facility, which I guess is not new anymore, but still new to me.
Visiting with Tony Fernandez from Lewis Clark State College, the president. The men's team is also in the national tournament, hopefully, if they get an at-large berth. But they're in the Frontier Conference Championship game, and that'll be at Helena, Montana, and a good year for Brian Orr. And they'll face a very, very good Carroll College team tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Carroll College, I think, is in the top 10, isn't it? Probably the 4 in the nation. And we fought very, very hard to get into that Frontier Conference Championship game. And I expect a very good game there, too, in Helena.
Should be really good. A lot of things going on here at, of course, the Activity Center and at the college in general. Of course, you were the host of the national tournament, the Avista NAI World Series baseball tournament. Finally got to play some baseball. The snow finally went away, at least hopefully for the time being.
Well, I hope spring's here because everybody around here's got baseball fever, and we haven't had that much. Of course, we've made some great improvements to the stadium, and we're looking forward to this year's World Series, hosting this year's World Series in a brand new grandstand and brand new scoreboard. All kinds of improvements to Harris Field.
Back to basketball for a moment, and what a boon for the Frontier Conference to be able to host the national tournament in the state of Montana, in Billings, Montana. It's a much shorter trip for Lewis Clark State College Warrior fans. Montana State Northern will more than likely be in the tournament, so not a bad trip from Havre down to Billings. So really great for everyone associated with this conference to be able to have the national tournament in Montana.
Oh, absolutely, and you know there's going to be a lot of Frontier Conference fans in Billings rooting on the Frontier Conference teams, and I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful tournament, and I think Billings and the host college, Rocky Mountain College, is going to do a terrific job in hosting this national championship.
You and your wife Diane follow this basketball team as close as anyone. They've beaten Montana State Northern 3 times, but here we are. It's tough to beat somebody 4 times. It's a 1-point game. I'm going to have you put on your coaching hat. If you're Brian Orr, what are you talking about in the locker room right now?
Well, you're telling them to calm down. Calm down. There was a couple of layups that they missed in the first 2 quarters, and I think they just got to relax and start playing the kind of baseball they can play. It's a great team, and you're right. We've seen each other 4 times, and both teams know each other pretty well.
Chris Mowat from Montana State Northern. The Skylights are having a tremendous night after the long trip from Havre. What is he telling his kids right now? They're half away from pulling a major upset.
Well, he's telling them you can beat them. He's telling them you saw what you did in the first half, how hot they were, well, from the three-point line and elsewhere, and doing good defense. I would be telling him that, but I kind of go with Coach Orr and the Warriors. They just have to calm down and play the game they can play.
Athletics obviously very important, but before we let you get away, I want to talk about academic side of things. You're getting ready to build a new building on campus, or at least in the community, which will hopefully improve some of the career technical aspects of the community in the region.
Absolutely. We want to make a regional career technical center in cooperation with the local Lewiston High School, the local school district. And if we get what we want and what we can do in programming, I think it'll be a center that other people can emulate across the state and across the Northwest and really across the nation. We want this to be a 9 through a baccalaureate degree possibilities for our students here in Lewiston and within the region.
Tony Fernandez, thanks so much for joining us. 33-32 is our score. It's a great first half and a great half to go. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Mike. We'll talk to you later.
Warriors lead the Skylights, and we're back right after this.
Dedication. It's the difference between being a Grizz fan and being a real Grizz fan. And now, thanks to First Interstate Bank, it's even easier to show your true colors. Get special rates, discounts on Grizz gear, and tons of other members-only benefits without the hassle of a 24/7 paint job. The new Grizz Banking debit card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at grizzbanking.com.
Hey man, got some chew?
No, man. This stuff's dangerous.
Hey, can I get a zip?
No way.
Why not?
Give me one good reason.
It's full of toxic chemicals.
It rots your teeth, and it causes cancer.
Prove it.
It says so right in the can.
Why do you do it?
So then why do you chew?
Well, we got a good one going tonight from the Activity Center in Lewiston, Idaho. 33-32, Lewis Clark State has rallied to take a 1-point lead in the Frontier Conference Women's Basketball Championship Tournament game. Mike Tatko, joined by the Director of Athletics at Lewis Clark State, Gary Piccone. Thanks for dropping by. We were talking about the Frontier Conference, the conference commissioner, Kent Paulson, who is here, and he's on his way back to Helena to watch our Warriors, your Warriors, against your Carroll College, his Carroll College Saints. Everybody's in this situation here. It's a Frontier Conference tournament tonight and again tomorrow in Helena.
Yeah, we're excited to be in that game. Brandon's guys have done a great job. It was a tough start to the year for us. We had a lot of injuries. We had to kind of remake ourselves. Brandon did a terrific job of staying with it, and we're playing real well right now. Got a great win in Dillon, tough place to play, and Helena, tough place to play tomorrow night, so we're glad to be in that game.
Carroll College has a tremendous program. They do such a great job, and as you said, it'll be a challenge and an opportunity for both of those teams to advance to the national tournament, depending on how that comes out. Lewis Clark State may be on the bubble, maybe in. Carroll pretty much is in, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think Carroll's in, and it'd be a big win for us. It would certainly solidify our spot. It's an automatic berth, so then we'd be in for sure. I like our chances anyway, but any win this time of year really helps your seeding. Seeding can be important at the tournament, so it's a great game to be in tomorrow night. It'll be a great atmosphere in Helena, and our guys are excited to be there.
You know, in the women's tournament, they have 4 pods of 8 in the national tournament, so there are actually 4 number 1 seeds. And with Lewis Clark State at 30-1 and the second-ranked team in the nation, you have to figure if they were able to win this game tonight, they would maybe get one of those number 1 seeds.
Yeah, I think if we win tonight, I think there's a real good chance we'll get either the second or the third seed probably. Freed will probably get the 1 seed if they win. So tonight's game is really important for that. And again, being a 1 seed does help in that bracket.
And Montana State Northern, they're ranked 12th in the nation, so they're pretty much a lock to get in. But again, if they could pull what would be a major upset here on the road against a 30-1 team, you would think their seed would jump tremendously.
They'll move up. They're probably a 3 seed right now, maybe a 4, probably jumped up to at least a 2 if they can get this win. So big game for both teams. We know each other well. No surprises in this game. So it'll be a grinder all the way. They're a really good team. They play us tough every time.
We talked to Tony Fernandez, the president of Lewis Clark State College, about how great it is that the Frontier Conference can be really the host of the national tournament at Billings, Montana. Again, it's an easier trip for people from Lewiston, an easier trip for people from Havre or Carroll, wherever it may be. And it's got to be really exciting for Commissioner Paulson and everybody affiliated with the Frontier Conference to have the tournament that close.
Yeah, we're gonna end up with 4 teams in it, and so the state of Montana likes their basketball, and they'll have 3 teams from the state in it: Rocky, Northern, and probably Western. They'll all be in. So and there'll be a lot of people from here go because it's in Billings. So it'd be great for the Frontier to have 4 teams in. If we get 4 in, we're liable to have 1 in each bracket, which makes games interesting in every bracket. So again, we know what it's like to host a baseball tournament, and Billings is excited about basketball. It's great for the whole Frontier Conference.
Yeah, will they come to you for any pointers on how to deal with so many teams coming to town?
They got a different animal than we do, 32 teams. We only deal with 9. So 32, I'm not sure how that goes with Bruce Parker and his team over there. They'll do a great job.
You know, we were talking about the Mike Benke and I were talking about how each team plays each other 3 times in the Frontier Conference. So you're away twice, you're home once, or the other way around. Interesting rotation, but Lewis Clark State and Montana State Northern, the opponent tonight, this is the 4th time, and each time it's gotten a little bit closer.
Yeah.
It was like 22 and 9 and 7, and now all of a sudden it's 1.
Yeah, it's the second half. I'd be surprised if the second half isn't a lot like the first half. I'd be surprised if when you look up with 2 or 3 minutes to go, it'll come down to those last couple of possessions. So hopefully we can make a couple plays late and win it.
All right, Gary, thanks for joining us. Gary Piccone, the Director of Athletics at Lewis Clark State College. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike.
33-32, Warriors lead. Back with the second half right after this.
Opportunity is everywhere. That is why I love my job at Opportunity Bank of Montana. I get to help my neighbors with business and agriculture loans, including new equipment loans. I understand that people need a bank they can rely on. You see, I grew up here with the eastern high plains out our front door and the crazy mountains in our backyard. Come see me, Brandy, or one of my colleagues at Opportunity Bank of Montana. Your local bank, your opportunity.
Hey man, got some chew?
No, man. This stuff's dangerous.
Hey, can I get a zip?
No way.
Why not?
Give me one good reason.
It's full of toxic chemicals.
It rots your teeth, and it causes cancer.
Prove it.
It says so right in the can.
But why do you do it?
So then why do you chew?
Well, Mike Tatko, Mike Benke back at halftime, 33-32, Lewis Clark State. Mike, look at those stats.
You know, MSU-Northern doing a great job of attacking the rim, attacking the defense, and when that first shot goes up, they're going after the rebounds hard. They're not trying to retreat on defense. They're trying to get after that basket so they can get some second chance points.
11 offensive rebounds for Montana State Northern. That's what sticks out in my mind. And also just 64% from the free throw line compared to Lewis Clark State's 100%. And so when the Warriors' three-point shooting isn't falling, 22%, they're getting to the line. And when they get to the line, they're having success.
Yeah, the Warriors did a good job. The three-point shot wasn't falling early, so what do? They go inside. You know, don't settle for the three if it's not going. Get the ball inside. They've had some success with Tackett and Blackman, and so they've done a good job adjusting. And the Skylights, they're just in attack mode. They're playing aggressive.
Natalie Faupel leads the way with 15 points for the Skylights. Lewis Clark State, nobody in double figures, but Orlandi leads them with 9. A lot of balance for the Warriors, and 5 assists as well for Kaylin Orlandi.
11 offensive rebounds for the Skylights in the first half.
Our Pepsi score, 33-32. Pepsi of Lewiston, Idaho, glad to be our Game of the Week sponsor tonight, along with ProBuild. Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. First Interstate Bank, Ravalli Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Southway Pizzeria, The Quality Inn in Clarkston, and Conlon's Furniture. We are ready for second half action from Lewiston, Idaho, 33-32. Somebody is 20 minutes away from a Frontier Conference championship, and they'll hoist the trophy.
After that first half, we have no reason to believe this will be anything but a close game down the stretch, so whoever makes the plays and can execute late, I think is going to take this one.
Lights have it. 4 ties, 5 lead changes in this basketball game, and Montana State Northern looking for another lead change here.
Warriors coming out in man-to-man defense.
Thompson trying to draw, contact can't, and a strong rebound by Reisinger. Lewis Clark State's biggest lead is 2. Montana State Northern's is 6, so a basket here by the Warriors would give them their biggest lead of the game.
Skylight's really in charge for most of that first half.
And Orlandi lost it out of bounds, so a great defense. 23 seconds of great defense for Montana State Northern.
Lapel using their athleticism right there, keeping Orlandi in front of her.
As we said, Natalie with 15 first half points. Back cut by Thompson. Now she's trying to post L'Italian up. She's got it on the baseline. What will she do? She'll go to the basket. Couldn't get it to go, and the Warriors have the rebound. Couple of pretty good looks for the Skylights, but they would not fall.
Yeah, whether the Warriors are in man or zone, the Skylights looking to attack and drive.
Offensive foul called on Lewis Clark State's Megan Reisinger. That is her second first team foul. We've played 8.5. We've played a minute and a half, and nobody has scored here in this.
Both teams doing a good job of keeping people in front of them and staying in good defensive position.
Again, the Skylights looking to shorten this game as much time as they can take off each possession.
Warriors changing it up and going back into zone.
Deep 3. Good. Ozan. Big basket for her.
You know,
She has 6.
For not shooting a high percentage from the three-point line on the season, MSU Northern with a lot of nice shooters. They have good ball rotation and nice releases.
2-point lead for the Skylights, and a Skylight foul underneath. That's going to be on Ozan.
Foul's called on number 34, Sydney Ozani. That's her second personal. First team foul for the Lights.
Ozan just trying to interrupt her cut there a little bit and got called.
L'Italian, and the Warriors trying to tie it up. Orlandi guarded by Faupel. Kalen pulls up. In and out. 2.5 minutes gone by. Lewis Clark State still shut out here in the third. Thompson with the screen up top by Krajcek. Richards had it knocked away, but she's able to get it to Krajcek. Shot clock at 7. Krajcek step back. Good. Krajcek a 3. She has 6. A couple of big three-pointers here, and the Skylights have a 5-point lead.
And that's a great step back there to create a little space in order to get a nice shot off at the end of the shot clock.
Skylights not going away. Reisinger. And there's a foul. That's going to send Tackett to the free throw line. And the foul is going to be on Richards, her second. Again, we mentioned that 3 of the Lights played all 40 minutes of that basketball game against Western. Faupel, Krajcek, and Thompson did not come out.
No, and they look like they're in great condition, and they don't look like they have any reason to come out. When you're playing well, you make it hard on the coach to sub you in.
Well, and it's a slow pace. It's not like a breakneck pace up and down. And Thompson did see a little bit of time near the end of the first half with those 2 fouls, but Vaupel has been in for the duration. And it's 38-35, so a 5-point Skylight lead. Now cut to 3, 6.5 to go. Pass into the key, it's loose. Richards comes up with it and lost it off her knee, out of bounds.
One thing in the first half, the Skylights only turned the ball over 5 times. That's pretty good. Look for that to be a key for the Warriors in the second half if they want to try to get back and get ahead in this game.
Orlandi and Reisinger bring it across for the hometown Warriors. And L'Italian driving on Thompson, but has to kick it back out. Good defense by JC. Lob, and the shot put up, rolled off that time by Tackett.
Skylights trying to deny the post. When they do that, the Warriors are trying to go over the top. When you play that kind of defense, you got to be ready to help.
Great check. There's Vaupel going to drive, going to pull up from 15 off the front iron and tipping it out of bounds. That's going to be a foul on Richards. I think she knew it when she committed it. It's her 3rd. So
Vaupel with another good look, though. Skylights will take that shot.
Sierra Richards will have to sit down, and Katie Verderer will come in. And Chris Molot saying, just let that go. It's a miss. It's their basketball. No reason to try to swat that thing away, and that's what she did. And it's a 3-point lead for the Skylights, and the Warriors have the basketball. Lob, and Tackett missed it. Boy, the Warriors have missed a lot of easy shots underneath tonight, but give the Skylights credit. They have contested a lot of those shots underneath.
Yeah, and they didn't allow the Warriors to get a second chance either. They secured that first miss.
And that 11 offensive rebounds, that number really stood out at halftime. Backdoor pass, it's going to be a foul, as going up for the shot was Thompson. And we'll check the Warrior foul.
Skylights doing a good job of staying on the same page right there, knowing the Warriors are aggressive and going backdoor.
So the shooter will be J.C. Thompson. And another miss.
MSU-Northern
7 for 12.
MSU-Northern doing a good job of creating free throw opportunities. Up to this point, just not quite capitalizing.
Yeah, they've missed 6 free throws. They've made 7. And boy, I tell you, that's a big difference. They lead by 3, but they would lead by a lot more. Johnson rolls it off, no good. And the rebound and hitting the deck that time was Ozan. But another point-blank miss for Lewis Clark State. Vaupel draws contact, it's blocked. And back comes Lewis Clark State. 4:40 to go, Orlandi. And Reisinger thought about the 3, but instead gave it to Orlandi. 3-point Skylight lead. Kalen in the key, turnaround jumper, and that won't go, and the rebound. Terferder.
Skylight's doing a good job of making Orlandi turn back to the left right there, cutting off her dominant hand and making her take a tough shot.
Vaupel against Reisinger, going to go to the basket again. That one is in off the glass. Great move by Vaupel. 17 points and a 5-point lead for MSU-Northern.
Good defense, better offense right there, Mike.
It really was. There was nothing wrong with the defense. She kind of forced it up, but she put it off the window. And there, finally they get one to go. Does Lewis Clark State. It's L'Italian who has 8 tonight. It's back to a 3-point lead. Again, Lewis Clark State's biggest lead in this game is 2.
The Warriors struggling in the first half to keep the Skylights off the board, so Coach Ord going to a little more man-to-man defense so far in the second half.
And an offensive foul. That one's going to be on Krajcek as she ran over the planted defense. And a timeout on the court. Great one here in Lewiston. 40-37 Skylights.
Since my Birmingham hip resurfacing, my wife and I are back at walking, which we like to do, and I'm actually building my own home now. Steel Memorial, I was really impressed with how good they were at taking care of you all the way along. I would recommend Dr. Ben because I feel like he's just like the consummate professional.
Dr. Gregory M. Bem and Steel Memorial Medical Center. Call today.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Well, again, you have to be happy if you're Chris Mowat and the Skylights. They have made the trip to Lewiston, and they have made the most of it. And Brian Orr on the other side for Lewis Clark State, trying to figure out how his team can make an easy shot inside. Boy, they've missed a lot of ones.
Yeah, and Coach Mowat, besides stopping a little bit of momentum right there, he gets his players that don't come off the floor a nice little rest, a little time for them to regroup here with a few minutes left in the third quarter.
3:24 to be exact, 40-37, MSU-Northern. They have led for a vast majority of the game, the biggest margin of 6. It's currently 3. L'Italian with the spin and the crossover, but good defense by Krajcek forces her to kick it back out.
Krajcek, really nice job of moving her feet right there.
Risinger down to the left baseline, passes it inside. Good off the glass. Blackman has 6 off the bench tonight, and it's back to 1.
That's a matchup the Warriors seem to like. They've tried to go to Blackman quite a bit when she's been in the game.
Krajcek to Fapel. She goes past Risinger, put it up. That one would not go, but a rebound and kicked out in a Warrior foul. Rebound, a great job once again by Sydney Ozon. And that one's going to be on Johnson, I think. No, it's going to be on Turner. He held up a 1 and a 2, and I thought he said 21, but he said 12.
Ozon, a really nice job of just going after and getting that one.
So Turner's first. And Fapel, again, 14 feet away. That won't go. And she's missed some of those mid-range jumpers that she normally hits, although it's still a great night for Natalie Fapel, 17. And at the other end, it's Orlandi who couldn't get it to go. It's down into the deep corner, and coming away with it is Ferderer from the Skylights, 40-39.
Ferderer with some nice minutes off the bench here for the Skylights.
Well, she came in the first half when Thompson was in foul trouble and gave Coach Mowat some good time, and she's come in here with Richards in foul trouble. 2 minutes remain in the third. Thompson spinning in the key, going to lay it up and would not go. Another offensive rebound, but that one's going to be taken away and tied up, and it'll belong to Lewis Clark State.
Ferderer on the floor for that one again.
Another chance for the Warriors to take the lead here. There's Orlandi around a double screen up top and hands it off for a deep 3, and that's short by L'Italian, and another good rebound by Ozon.
1 and done for the Warriors. Great job by the Skylights right there.
Great check. Good help that time. You talked about how they didn't have good help, but they helped that time. And the rebound is out of bounds to Lewis Clark State. A couple of Skylights after it, but neither of them could save it.
A lot of times, Mike, it's that second wave. You know, once that first player gets beat, how's your help and how's your rotation? A lot of times that makes a big difference in a game.
We approach the 1 minute mark of the third quarter, and Lewis Clark State, another opportunity for the lead inside, and they lose it out of bounds again. Well, we talked, Mike, both these teams likely to go to the national tournament because they're both ranked in the top 12, and both teams will be making their 4th straight appearance
Both teams with a trip to the national tournament ahead of them, but this game big for seeding.
It really is, and just pride too, and who gets to hold the trophy. Ozan for three, rimmed out, no good. And Lewis Clark State with the rebound, final 35 seconds. Another chance for the home team to take a lead. They led by one at the half, and Orlandi gives them the lead again. 41-40, 25 seconds, and the Skylights will play for one, Mike.
Yeah, just as the previous three meetings, this one's going to be close going into the fourth quarter. Some great action here at the Activity Center.
Down to 10. Thompson. And Kraychek. No good, it's loose. Rebound by Lewis Clark State, and the time will expire. The Warriors, a 41-40 lead. 10 minutes to go in regulation. Back to Lewiston after this.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
At Northwestern Energy, part of delivering a bright future means being connected to all our communities. It means delivering safe and reliable power to your home while helping to power your business's success. It means actively planning for the future while investing in future generations. It means working to ensure your safety and comfort while comforting those in need. It's by working together that we're able to deliver a bright future. Because together, we're Northwestern Energy.
Just 8 points aside in the third quarter. Now 10 minutes in regulation. Lewis Clark State by 1. Montana State Northern with the basketball. Mike Tatko, Mike Benke from Lewiston, Idaho. The Frontier Conference Women's Championship game brought to you by Pepsi of Lewiston, Idaho. And which team will hoist the trophy after these 10 minutes, or will we play extra time? 6 on the shot clock for the Lights. Thompson off the iron, got her own rebound. New shot clock.
Skylight so far tonight not shooting a great percentage, but keeping themselves in the game with their second chance points.
Great check. And Ozan. Kraychek draws the foul. Decided she's going up, and she did, and she drew the foul. As we have the Warrior foul on Tack at her third. But I tell you, not a bad strategy for Lewis Clark State, Mike, because Montana State Northern has really struggled from the free throw line. Another miss.
You know, the Skylights, like we said, they're doing a great job of getting to the line. At some point, it just becomes mental, you know. They got to make one, make two, kind of take that pressure off themselves.
Finally made one. They are 8 of 15. And we've tied the game. And at the other end, another rolled off by Lewis Clark State, and Montana State Northern with a chance to take the lead.
Another one and done for the Warriors. Skylights doing a great job of keeping them off the offensive glass.
Goes on. Thompson. Warriors in a zone. Daring them to shoot those threes. They've had trouble. Richards back in off to Fapel. Shot clock at 5. There's Ozan for 3. Good. Ozan.
Warriors contested that shot. Just a great shot by Ozan.
Well, you said it earlier. Good defense, better offense. That's what happened on that one. As she got it up over the outstretched hands of the defender and knocked it down. It's 44-41 off the hands of Blackman, but the Warriors retain possession. Risinger. The crowd liked how she had a tremendous move dribbling, and rolling it in is Blackman.
When Blackman's on the floor, the Warriors are really attacking that paint.
One-point Skylight lead, 2 minutes in. Good defense by Reisinger, forces Faupel to kick it back out to Thompson. And a turnaround in the key, good, J.C. Thompson. First field goal in the second half. She has 8 for the game, and again, a 3-point lead for Montana State Northern.
Skylight's ball handlers never really look like they're in a hurry. They're always under control. Even in a lane where you can be surrounded by defenders right there is a great shot by Thompson.
L'Italian had picked up her dribble. And then nearly a steal by Montana State Northern. Ozan will sit down for a moment. And Peyton Filius will come in for the Skylights. 7.5 minutes to go, 46-43, Montana State Northern. Orlandi muscles it up and in.
Orlandi for a guard with good basket savvy right there.
Realized if she had faked and went up, she could either draw contact or get the basket, and she got the basket. Faupel got fouled.
Both teams' guards comfortable around the rim and comfortable finishing in traffic.
Jocelyn Blackman has picked up her third. She's been a big presence inside for Lewis Clark State. It's her third, the second team.
Yeah, she's played some valuable minutes off the bench for the Warriors tonight.
One-point edge for the Skylights. Thompson gonna fire a three. No good, it's tipped, it's loose, and it's Reisinger who wrestled it away for Lewis Clark State. Warriors want to run. Orlandi looking for some free space and couldn't get it to go, but the putback is good by Blackman. And Lewis Clark State has taken the lead, 47-46.
Warriors with some second chance points of their own right there.
That's what Montana State Northern did very well in the first half, and the Warriors getting some inside position here in the second half.
Only one offensive rebound in the third quarter for the Skylights, so the Warriors making a nice adjustment there.
Again, 11 in the first half, so obviously Coach Brian Orr did something to talk to his team about blocking out, and they did a very good job in the third quarter, and they're trying to do the same here in the fourth. Lewis Clark State looking for its biggest lead of the game. If they can get a basket here, they will have it. Orlandi a fall away, but missed it. Again, Northern's biggest lead, 6th, and Lewis Clark State's biggest lead is 2. 5.5 to go, Warriors lead by 1. Ozan will come back at the next whistle for the Skylights, and
Skylights happy to reset right there and run their offense.
Faupel's been quiet. Krajcek missed everything. It's out of bounds off of the Skylights. Faupel said she didn't touch it, but they said she did. She's had a quiet second half, Mike. Only 2 points for Natalie Faupel after 15 in the first half.
Warriors have done a little better job of helping out on defense and contesting some of Faupel's shots. She had some easy ones in the first. They've done a good job adjusting and knowing where she's at on the court.
L'Italian open for a deep three. No, and a foul on, I think, Tackett. If so, that's her 4th. It is. So Tackett with 4, Blackman with 3 for Lewis Clark State. Let's see if they go right at Brittany Tackett because Coach Orr left her in. Krajcek. It's out of the jam to Thompson. 10 on the shot clock for the Skylights. Faupel pulls up from 20. No good, but Richards with it. She has to go up. It's the same shot clock. And Faupel missed it at the horn. It's on the corner. We're blocked by the coaches and the players, and the Warriors come away with it. Nice pass and laying it up and in is Turner. Wonderful pass by Kalen Orlandi, 49-46. Biggest lead of the game for Lewis Clark State, Mike. It comes with 4 minutes to go in the basketball game.
And the Warrior Bigs do a nice job of running the floor.
Ozan kicked it to Kraychak, couldn't get it to go in and out.
Skylights with a good look right there. A little earlier in the shot clock than they normally like, but they had a good look.
And a timeout. Lewis Clark State. Warriors by 3, 3:52 to go in Lewiston.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
When it's your time, make it Quay time. Have a quick lunch or relax and enjoy conversation over breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We have been serving the Valley since 1989, right here on the river. While you're here, visit Dave's Valley Golf and practice your swing, or browse the Pro Shop. The Quay, inside the Quality Inn, right on the river, Clarkston.
Well, 3:52 remaining from Lewiston, and the homestanding Warriors, Mike, finally have forged more than 2-point lead, a 3-point lead, and they have the basketball. So an opportunity for them to get their first 2-possession lead all night long.
Yeah, we'll see if the Skylights can come out and get an important stop right here.
They called timeout with 23 on the shot clock, so they don't have a full shot clock. Man-to-man defense by the Lights. Orlandi in and out. Thompson for the rebound. Good idea, good play, executed it well. Just
they got the shot they were looking for.
Didn't fall. 3.5 to go.
Northern with a good job of boxing out and keeping it one and done.
Ozan for the tie. Bounce, bounce, off, and the rebound for Lewis Clark State. So again, they've done a tremendous job on second opportunities for Montana State Northern, limiting them to 1 here in the second half.
Ozan with a nice soft shot. Didn't quite go down for her.
Eight on the shot clock for the Warriors. Less than 3 to go in regulation. Reisinger needs to put it up. Left-handed runner, no good. And Thompson with the rebound. That's not the shot that Lewis Clark State wanted after a 30-second eating up of the shot clock.
Nope. MSU Northern continuing to play good defense.
Richards up top with it now. To Kraychak. Thought about the step back 3. Vaupel gonna drive. Needs to find somebody. She finds Kraychak, who fired it up way too early, as there were still 4 seconds left on the shot clock. And so Lewis Clark State with a break there, leading by 3.
Crowd may be coming into play a little bit right there.
And Orlandi got fouled, and she'll shoot a pair.
She'll go to the line for 2.
Right on the ball. Right on the ball.
And we have a media timeout.
And a timeout from the Activity Center. 49-46 Warriors, 2:06 remaining in the championship game.
In every corner of America, there are a few people living with unique gifts. Born with gifts we all wish we had. But just because you weren't born lucky doesn't mean you can't be lucky. With the Montana Lottery's Lucky for Life, you could win $1,000 a day for life, or $25,000 a year for life. Lucky for Life. Now that's luck that lasts a lifetime.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Well, Mike Benke, 2:06 remaining, Lewis Clark State by 3. And again, I think the key in this second half has been the fact that they have really done a great job on keeping Montana State Northern from offensive rebounds.
In the first half, the Skylights were really able to find holes in that LC zone, and since they went to man, a little bit tighter defense.
And credit the Warrior defense. They have only given up 14 points in the entire second half. The Skylights had 32 at half. They only have 40. Lewis Clark State hasn't exactly lit it up. They have 16 points in the second half, but they do have the 3-point lead as Orlandi unable to get the first one to go down. She got the second one, and for the first time in this game, Lewis Clark State has a 2-possession lead. It comes with 2 minutes remaining in regulation, 50-46.
Look for the Skylights to get the ball in their better players' hands right now and try to have her make a play.
Great check. Again, they don't need a 3. 2-possession game. They just need a good look. Great check with 7. Vaupel driving. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound. Thompson among the trees forced it up. Couldn't get it to go, and the Warriors have the rebound. So they had an offensive rebound by Thompson, who skied to get it, but she could not get the putback to go.
Couple good looks for the Skylights right there.
Minute and a half remaining. So now the Warriors going to take some time off the clock, and Montana State Northern has to give 4 fouls before they're in the bonus.
Yeah, that's one thing about playing a clean game is this time of the game when you're looking to send somebody to the line, you got to catch up a little bit to get them into the bonus.
You really do, and again, with the rule a couple of years ago that you wipe the fouls off after each period, you have to commit 5. Used to be 7.5, now it's 5 1/4, and they still have to give 3 more in the final minute 18. So the Warriors going to play keep away because every time you foul, you get a new shot clock as well. So the Warriors just going to take some time, and Montana State Northern's going to have to commit a foul here. We're down to 105. Now they decide just to play tough defense and see if they can get the shot clock to go off or the Warriors to miss. And all along underneath is Blackman, and she laid it up. 12 points for Blackman, and it's a 6-point game, and now they have to have a 3, Mike.
Yep, and now they got to get a good shot. Don't quite get in a hurry, but just get your best shot. It doesn't have to be a 3.
And they foul Ozan, and she'll have a couple of free throws. And the foul is on Turner, her second, and Ozan, who is 1 for 1 from the free throw line, will have the opportunity here to make it a little bit closer with 46 seconds remaining.
Worst case scenario for the Warriors right there. Best case for the Skylights, getting the clock to stop.
And another miss. They are hovering right around 50% from the free throw line, and that's not going to do it in a championship game, especially a low-scoring, grinded out, defensive, every possession means something championship game, and that's exactly what has happened tonight, as they have not been able to put the free throws down consistently enough. The second one is good, and a timeout by the Lights. 52-47, back to Lewiston in a moment.
Well, since my knee replacement, I have done a lot of gardening this year, and I have no trouble kneeling down. I can do anything I did years ago. My experience at Steele Memorial was very good, and I would recommend it to anyone. Dr. Bem is very professional, and after the surgery, he was very, very thorough, and I felt very comfortable with him.
Dr. Gregory M. Bem and Steele Memorial Medical Center. Call today.
Dedication. It's the difference between being a Grizz fan and being a real Grizz fan. And now, thanks to First Interstate Bank, it's even easier to show your true colors. Get special rates, discounts on Grizz gear, and tons of other members-only benefits without the hassle of a 24/7 paint job. The new Grizz Banking debit card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at grizzbanking.com.
Well, we talked about how both of these teams more than likely will advance to the national tournament, Mike, and again, both will be making their 4th trip in a row. And Lewis Clark State, if they can hold on for 46 more seconds, will probably be a #1 seed. The Warriors last year, a couple of wins before losing to Baker. Montana State Northern lost in its opener to Benedictine, but if they play defense like this and control the tempo of the game like this, they have an opportunity to make a little bit of a run in that national tournament, I think. But still some unfinished business here, 46 seconds left. And they foul Brooke L'Italien. It's Federer makes the foul.
Still just 4.
Actually, it's just the
3.
third team,
foul.
so they still have to give 2 more.
Yep.
I would imagine they'll be committing a foul right away if they can't get a steal. And they get it in to Reisinger, and she's fouled by Federer. That's her 2nd and the 4th team, and now they'll have to foul one more time. So a stat and a foul by Richards. And they fouled Jocelyn Blackman, and I think we heard Chris Mowat telling the official that's who we want to foul, and they even fouled her before the ball was inbounded. So Blackman to the line, a chance to salt this one away, a 5-point lead for the Warriors. And she got it. 13 points off the bench for Jocelyn Blackman. What a evening for Blackman, a sophomore from Brush Prairie, Washington, and a participant at Battleground High School, and she has really come through tonight.
On both ends of the floor, she's played some nice defense, good rebounding.
And a timeout by Chris Mowat, and they call that timeout so they can advance the basketball to half court. 41 seconds. It's a 30-second timeout.
Still just a 2-possession game.
That miss was big because you'll see the lights now come up with some type of a play, Mike, to get a screen, to get a 3. They're at the situation now, I really think they probably have to come up with a 3. They need 2 of them. I guess maybe with 41 seconds left, you could drive to the basket and get a quick lay-in. What would you do if you're the Skylights?
You know what, ideally, I'd see what they're going to give us right away. If we don't get an easy bucket, I think you need a 3-pointer right here.
Coach Orr is talking to his team about guarding against the 3-pointer, and again, the Warriors certainly don't want to foul on a 3-pointer. So let's see what Coach Mowat and the Skylights have drawn up here with 41.8 seconds remaining and a 6-point Lewis Clark State College lead in the championship game.
If you're the Warriors, you just want to secure that rebound when the shot goes up.
Vaupel got the 3 off and off the iron, and Richards battling for the rebound, and she saved it in, but her foot was on the line, and Lewis Clark State gets it with 32 seconds remaining.
Skylights with good execution right there. They got the look they wanted, just didn't go in.
They've had some looks tonight, really. And again, in the second half, just hasn't really fallen for them. And in the first half, they got a lot of offensive rebounds, but not the case here. And Lewis Clark State has pulled away, and they call a timeout. And it is a 30-second timeout. Again, Coach Orr now is going to get out the clipboard, I would imagine, Mike, and they are going to try to draw up something to at least get the ball inbounds.
Yeah, if anything, they just want to create a little space, get it into one of the better free throw shooters if they can, best case scenario.
Well, again, our basketball game tonight, we want to welcome our network affiliates for today's game on SWX in Billings, Bozeman, Butte, Great Falls, Helena, Kalispell, Missoula, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, the Tri-Cities, and Yakima. We're happy to have you enjoying this game with us from the Activity Center at Lewis Clark State College in Lewiston, Idaho. It's been a fun one.
It's been close all throughout. Quite a few lead changes, single-digit leads all throughout. Doesn't get much better than this.
Warriors get free on the inbound. They'll foul L'Italien. And so Brooke L'Italien, a senior from Post Falls, Idaho. We talked about the group of seniors for Lewis Clark State who kind of took over this program after a down year for Lewis Clark State, and they've been to the national tournament every year, and L'Italien will not get that one to go. And they built this program back up.
Yeah, this senior class did a really nice job of kind of bringing things back to the way, LC is usually used to things being around here. And Northern at the same time working on what I think is their fourth straight trip to the Nationals. So both programs here familiar with each other, and both programs very successful lately.
Italian got the second one. It's a 7-point lead for Lewis Clark State. Final 30 seconds. And the shot from the deep corner, good, a three-pointer, and Montana State Northern calls timeout. Coming in was Shiloh McCormick to knock that one down. It's 54-50 now as Montana State Northern gets the three. And again, you talked about their fourth straight trip to the national tournament, assuming they get one. We mentioned they lost to Benedictine last year in the first round, but prior to that, in 2015, they defeated Lindsey Wilson and Southern New Orleans of Louisiana before losing to Freed Hardeman. And Freed Hardeman, as Gary Piccone told us at halftime, is a power. And then in 2014, they beat Columbia, Missouri before losing to Oklahoma City. So they have 4 wins in the national tournament in the last 3 years. So we talk about the tradition of Lewis Clark State. No slouch up in Havre either.
No, and they have a great plan. You know, they get out, they're never in a hurry. They execute, and they stick to who they are. And so the way they play, they're going to be in a game with just about anybody.
The tournament field and pairings will be announced on Wednesday, as again, Montana State Northern has to foul right off the bat, so 21 seconds left. And the foul on Thompson, it's her 4th, and it will be Orlandi, who has 14 points in the basketball game. Again, it's a 2-possession game. It will remain a 2-possession game regardless of how many she hits. But she'll try to make it so Northern has to hit threes, and she does on the first one, 55-50 with 21 seconds remaining.
Westminster, down about here.
Kalen is 2 for 2 this trip, 56-50, final 20 seconds of this one.
That's who the Warriors would like to have at the line right now.
Great check. Papel from 18, rolled off, no good. Foul on Montana State Northern. It's Tackett going to go to the line with 13 seconds left, and they're going to try to salt this one away with free throws.
That play right there kind of evident of how the second half has went for both the Warriors and the Skylights. Shot goes up. MSU-Northern not able to get a rebound. One and done.
Well, a good crowd on hand tonight. Witnessed a fantastic championship game, very competitive, back and forth all night long. And Tackett had that one roll off, so still a slight glimmer of hope for the Lights if they miss this shot. They're still just 2 3-point baskets down in the final 13 seconds. She made it. It's a 7-point Lewis Clark State College lead. And Papel will bring it up. Looking for some space. And Ozon deep. No good. It's loose. And Lewis Clark State celebrates. The Warriors are the Frontier Conference Tournament champions. They are 31-1 as they fight off a very stubborn Montana State Northern team, 57-50. Back to the Activity Center after this.
Excited about Bobcat season? Trust us, so are we. Sometimes game day just can't get here soon enough. You could show up 12 hours before kickoff to show your colors, or you could get the new Bobcat banking card from First Interstate Bank. Find out more at bobcatbanking.com.
Have you put off buying a new Tempur-Pedic mattress because you think they're too expensive? Let Conlon Sleep Center help you upgrade to the highest level of comfort, support, and performance with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress. Right now, get the sleep you deserve for as little as $42 a month. It's hard to believe, but true. You can sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
It's hard to be in college and not be focused.
Being an athlete even helps you become more and more focused.
If I don't stay focused, I fall way behind on schoolwork.
A lot of homework on the bus and in hotel room. This is one of the most formational times in your life, and so it's important to make healthy choices.
Because people who are tobacco free just do better in school.
I don't use tobacco. I feel like your body is your temple.
I don't think I'd be the person I am today if I had used tobacco products.
I'm focused on a tobacco-free generation.
Well, Lewis Clark State College is receiving its Frontier Conference Championship Award from the Commissioner of the Frontier Conference, Kent Paulson. Also the Director of Athletics, Gary Piccone, is out there to help make the presentation as the Warriors rally past the lights 57-50. But before Montana State Northern exited the court, they were given a big round of applause by this partisan Warrior crowd because they really did put up a fight tonight, but held to just 18 second-half points, and that really was the key, Mike.
It was a hard-fought game. The Warriors made some nice halftime adjustments to kind of take away what the Skylights were successful with in the first half, and that was crashing the boards and getting open looks in the middle of the floor.
Again, a tremendous effort by a lot of Warriors. Orlandi with 16, Jocelyn Blackman off the bench with 13, those two in double figures. Natalie Faupel, you really can't ever hold her down. She had 17, but only 2 in the second half and none in the fourth quarter. She had some looks, but they would not go. 7 for 25 from the floor. Sydney Azone had 10, the other light in double figures. And another thing I know that Coach Chris Mowat will talk about is the 9 for 17 effort from the free throw line.
Yeah, and you know, certain times of the game they had a chance to extend their lead a little bit with those free throws, and they didn't quite capitalize on those opportunities.
Warriors the champs, 57-50. And we're going to return to Lewiston, Idaho, right after this timeout.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America for as low as $42 a month. Hurry in to Conlon Sleep Center for your new Tempur-Pedic or go to conlons.com.
Since my Birmingham hip resurfacing, my wife and I are back at walking, which we like to do, and I'm actually building my own home now. Steel Memorial, I was really impressed with how good they were at taking care of you all the way along. I would recommend Dr. Ben because I feel like he's just like the consummate professional.
Dr. Gregory M. Bem and Steel Memorial Medical Center. Call today.
Well, Lewis Clark State celebrating by cutting down the nets. As we look at the final stats and really field goal percentage, kind of tells a story there, Mike.
The Skylights to a low percentage. They also made a good adjustment. You know, they weren't shooting the three-pointer real well, only 15%, so they went inside. Jocelyn Blackman being a huge part of that.
Yeah, again, the Warriors 100% from the line in the first half. They kind of fell down a little bit, but they made them when they had to down the stretch. And again, rebounds. They had 11 offensive rebounds in the first half, did the Skylights, and only 4 in the second half. Still out-rebounded Lewis Clark State 39-38, but really the key, well, the fact was that, as you said, Mike, they contested some shots and really did a good job on that one. So again, Lewis Clark State 57-50, running through the point totals. Ozan with 6 and Sierra Richards with 4, Thompson 7, Faupel 12, Krajcik had 5, Furter 3, and McCormick had 1. And for the Warriors, Reisinger 8, Tackett had 5, Orlandi 16. Excuse me, Reisinger had 2, Tackett 9, Orlandi 16, 2 for Johnson, 9 for L'Italian, 6 for Turner, and 13 for Jocelyn Blackman. And a look at the Warriors with their tournament championship. And again, we mentioned Jocelyn Blackman, 6 for 8 from the floor, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 7 big rebounds. And the 6-foot sophomore, Jocelyn Blackman, is tonight's player of the game, Mike Benke, and really she stepped up when she needed to.
Yeah, and you know, every time she was in the game, the Warriors made it a point to get her the ball. They saw a matchup they liked, and they went after it. And Jocelyn did a great job of just battling inside, getting some tough shots to go, and really just being real aggressive while she was in there.
There's Jocelyn Blackman right there cutting down the net here at the Activity Center at Lewis Clark State. And the 4 senior Warriors, including the injured Natani Spencer, meet at half court to congratulate each other and hold on to some trophies. Both of these teams likely going to the tournament. And look at Kaylin Orlandi with a big move inside. That gave Lewis Clark State a 3-point lead. And again, the Warriors with some very, very big possessions in the second half. There's Blackman right there, putting it in. And again, 2 of her 13 points. And Jocelyn Blackman is tonight's player of the game as the Warriors rally past the Montana State Northern Skylights by a score of 57-50. Well, Mike, it's been a wonderful opportunity to work with you tonight. It's a big win for Lewis Clark State. Both of these teams likely going to the national tournament, and Billings pairings announced on Wednesday. It's been a great year for both, and they hope to continue it.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you to SWX.
Great time tonight. Warriors win it by a score of 57-50 for Mike Benke, Mike Tatko from Lewiston, Idaho. So long.
When it's your time, make it Quay time. Have a quick lunch or relax and enjoy conversation over breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We have been serving the Valley since 1989, right here on the river. While you're here, visit Dave's Valley Golf and practice your swing, or browse the Pro Shop. The Quay, inside the Quality Inn, right on the river, Clarkston.